I read an article from you, Mr. Owen, in referencing our offensive line, and I think that's going to be key for the future of our running offense. Which player do you think is going to be the captain of our offensive line, and which player do you think is most in danger of losing their position?
The captain of the offensive line, James Daniels. I mean, the guy is awesome. I mean, you've just got to listen to that interview that he gave to Steelers.com, Steelers TV at the start of the year before when he was actually signed. And he talked about wanting to be a leader. He talked about, though, that wasn't just something you get given. It was something that you earn through respect and going in respect to the defensive staff as well, and leading on the field, leading in the offensive line room. He just talked so well about that. And apparently coming out of OTAs and minicamp, he's been showing that same attitude as well. He's been leading, he's been talking, communicating, he's been the main guy on the line. So even though he's only, 24, 25 years old, he's already taken that very mature, very much like the Pouncey, De Castro type role on that line. So I think that he will be the leader for definite. Who's most at risk? Well, both of the tackles, really. That is the one position that really worries me still, is the offensive tackles. If you look at our tackles and our tackle depth, you've got Dan Moore, Chuks Okorafor as the starting tackles. Behind them, you've got Joe Haig, Trent Scott, Jake Dixon, Jordan Tucker, Chaz Green. And to me, there's no real outstanding quality there. Dan Moore is in his sophomore year. Hopefully he will continue his development and will continue to do well. But his footwork, particularly in pass protection, is not good. Chuks is solid, but he's not aggressive enough. That's one of the things he always gets picked up on. And then the guys like Joe Haig is solid veteran. Trent Scott, solid veteran. You've then got two undrafted free agents and Chaz Green, who I know very little about. So for me, there's still a major weakness at tackle, and that is something that really does worry me. I'd like them to see them go out and sign someone like Eric Fisher or Terrell Crosby, someone like that, to come in and give a bit more depth at tackle.
If the Steelers were to pick up a tackle, which one do you think that they would replace first, Chuks or Dan Moore?
If it was me, I'd replace Chuks first. I think Chuks is, I think he's too weak. I think he's solid, don't get me wrong, and he's technically very good, but he just doesn't show enough aggression in what he does. And Dan Moore is a draft pick who they obviously got high hopes for in the future. What I would personally do is go after someone like Fisher, because he's a starter, he's a veteran, he's a leader. Put him to left tackle and move Dan Moore to right tackle, which many people feel is actually Dan Moore's better position, is right tackle.
I agree. And speaking about natural positions, what do you think about the left guard position in that battle there with Kendrick Green and Dotson there? Dotson, who was more, on the right side in college, he came in last year, and there was some reports that the staff there weren't very happy with him. A lot of the reports stated that, or a lot of speculation was that the reports were due to his conditioning. However, and it's actually from DK Sports Pittsburgh, he stated that it wasn't the conditioning, and kind of put it out there that it was a mental aspect of it, and from him switching sides. Do you think that Dotson has that position lined up? Is it his, or do you think that Green's going to push? Well, let's start with you, Mark. What do you think about that battle there?
I don't think it's lined up. I think a lot of these guys in their line shouldn't expect them to, besides probably maybe James Daniels and Mason Cole at center now. They're the ones who, are penciled in. I know we have Chuks there who signed the 3-year deal, so that looks like he's going to be the right tackle, but that's also, like Owen said, the weakest area possibly. So I don't think you should be penciled in and say, I'm going to be the starter. But I do like the base that there's competition now between Dotson and Green, because we saw last year how many times Green got pushed back and their O-line was just not – there was this zero push. You go back and watch the Steelers in, like, the Super Bowl eras, like 2008, stuff like that, and the Alan Faneca and all those dudes, they're pushing the guys off the line, like, 2 feet, 3 feet, forward, and then having room for Najee to run. So hopefully that James Daniels has an impact on the whole offensive line, some leadership, some veteran skills that can be like, boys, we need to go out there and be menaces. I'd be like, hey, Dotson, look how big you are. Go play like it, stuff like that. Like, you got to really fire him up. We've got Najee Harris behind us. Our rookie running back is one of the best. Let's get him. Let's put some effort in, and they just got to move the pocket forward, because they didn't do that. And hopefully, if Trubisky is starting there, he has time to link up with Muth. So it's going to be interesting training camp. I think this year, a lot of positions, like, seeing Moore get better, but seeing Dotson is, I think right now he would be starter. But why can't Green be starter as well? He started all the games last year at center. If he moves position, he's more physical, more aggressive. I just want to see someone hit someone. So, just like go out there and hit someone. And you've got Najee Harris, man. You can't. People always talk about wasting years of players and this, right? Najee Harris is a special beast, and you need to push the pocket forward to give him 5 yards, 6 yards, and then he can start. He hasn't even started to carve up the middle linebackers yet. Hasn't gotten to the second level that many times. His biggest run last year, I think, was 20 yards.
Right.
Oh, actually, no, it was the Browns game. Sorry, it was the Browns game. The Browns game.
He had a big one. He was supposed to fall down for Big Ben to get one more knee. Fortunately, Norwood saved that for Big Ben and let him get that knee with that interception at the end of the game. No, for sure. I think that the offensive line has to make some big moves or has to improve significantly. I recently was watching a clip from Alex Kazor from Steelers Depot, and he was doing a film analysis, and I was looking at Cheeks Okorafor lined up next to Trey Turner. They were almost foot together, and the lineup was horrible. It was really bad last year. I look forward to the change of the guard this year. With the signing of James Daniels and Mason Cole, a lot of the consensus is that James Daniels is the better player there. Wouldn't you put him as the center position versus Mason and have Mason on that guard position? Do you think that the center position would be more important and his ability there might be better suited for us? What do you guys think about that?
I think, yeah, I mean, I can see that argument. I think that the determination obviously is for James Daniels seems to want to play right guard rather than in the center position. Cole's a solid enough center. I don't think he's an amazing center. I think he's a solid center, and that's what he is. He did a solid job for the Vikings last year when he played there. So, I mean, I can see the point of view, and obviously the link up between Daniels and Trubisky from Chicago might be something as well. But that interior of the line doesn't really worry me. I do think that, going back to what you're saying about Dotson and Green, the competition will increase the performance of those two guys. And I listened to Dotson talking to Arthur Motes on Steelers Blitz the other day, and he was saying that his conditioning and his taking care of himself is a lot better than it used to be. Because apparently when he used to finish practice in the past, he used to go home and go to sleep. That was it. That was his recovery. But there was no. I know this is a controversial thing in the NFL at the moment, but there was no massages. There was no weightlifting. There was no anything else post that. It was just go home and have a sleep. And I think he's now starting to take that conditioning a lot more seriously. So I don't have any worries in terms of the interior offensive line. I think Dotson will start. Dotson, Cole, and Daniels. The interior offensive line will be quality next year.
I agree. I think that there's only one place they can go is up. I mean, I think they were like 29th last year in rushing.